a cutter's mate? How many use their cutter's mate?
Why does it? Oh, wait.
This is a mini.
I have a small one, yeah.
I don't have a small.
Mine is the big one.
I have it. I have to practice more with it.
And you do use it though?
Not much.
Because there's so many people that don't use their cutter's mate.
That would be me.
Well, shame on you. It works perfect.
I don't have the mini, I have the big one, but I don't use it.
I have the big one. It's set up all the time. That's all I ever use for this kind.
Set up, I just,
I use my
Well, okay, vacuum it off
yeah.
and start using it.
Take the clothes off.
Yeah, right. Okay. The reason why this is such a good idea, you can see I'm sitting down. It works perfect while you're seated rather than standing up. You've got your cutter and you're putting your shoulder into it and pushing down. It's weighted. All you have to do is drag it across the glass. Now, most of the time when you're cutting glass, you are pushing away from you. I find it easier to pull toward. All I'm doing is just light pressure. Use this hand to hold the glass down, this finger to guide, and don't grab it like this. Grab it with your fingertips. That way you can swivel back and forth like this. And it's supposed to this piece is a little bit too big for this, but I'm not used to this little. The one that I have is too.
See, that's probably why I don't use it, 'cause it doesn't go far.
Okay.
And I didn't guide it with my finger on
I didn't, I never did either, I didn't either.
It's after a while it's natural. I'm holding it down with my thumb, holding the glass down with my thumb, and just pulling it along. In fact, you could score this whole piece
I think I have problems with popping out of there.
You're pushing too hard then.
Popping out. It pops out of the
Here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that happened here.
In fact, we could even get a little bit bigger here.
You have to show this to Sue then. How do you use this?
And you know, it works so well if you arthritis. If you're crippled up, it's amazing. Once you get used to it, you're not going to use anything else.
Get the bigger one.
The bigger one is a whole lot easier. Pardon?
The big one is better than
The big one is easier. Yeah, because this arm is a little bit longer. So even on this one square here, you can't even get to the end of it.
You look beautiful today. You look beautiful every day.
So, yeah.
So you get the big one, you just stick it on there, or you have to buy the big
Get the big arm. Well, if you buy this is going to be too short because
Oh, you have to buy the big one.
yeah, it's not going to do much good. But
I like the grid better on the big one.
the
I
what?
like the big grid that you get instead of all the little squares
Well,
with the big one.
No, I think it's the 12 by 12. It's just two of them.
Mine is just one piece.
Oh, is it?
One big piece, yeah.
Okay. Holding down with my thumb, holding the glass down with my thumb. Guiding with my index finger. Now there really isn't a whole lot of speed or maybe accuracy compared to just a regular cutter, but with this one, the blade is cutting at a perpendicular angle to the glass. That's about the only thing that you can count on.
David, how are you, sweetheart? How are you? So, thank you.
More?
Yeah.
I know it's always so much fun to watch somebody else do this.
I think that's gonna have to be my next investment.
It makes a difference.
I was actually just thinking of taking mine out and starting to use it because my hands are getting older.
I
Yeah.
hear you. My hands at night are so numb they even wake me up at night. I really think I might have to have one of them.
They're on sale today.
How much are they?
I didn't look. I think they're around 300, maybe a little bit less for the smaller one.
Yeah, I don't think I need the big one. This is a small. This is what?
This is the smaller one. The other one has got a longer rod and longer this way a little bit.
I guess. I don't know what size I need.
It depends on what you're going to be working on.
Yeah.
Little stuff, I would say this is going to be fine. But if you're going to be cutting anything bigger, I would go with the larger size. Martha says she's got the large
Which
size,
one you do have the large size?
I have the big one that I don't use.
and I
You don't
have
use that?
I have the
I've got
big
little
one.
I've got the little one, and I wish I had the big one. Okay.
I have the big one.
But I didn't realize,
I might
I
have
didn't
the
know
small
that
one too, I don't know.
guide it with your finger. I didn't.
It makes it so much easier.
You mean you don't use it at all? Or you,
No,
okay.
I have used
But
it.
not like you thought you would? I
But
know I probably would if I
Once I
bought
got
it.
the beetle bits, I used that more than I do anything, so.
Oh
Another
yeah,
thing, see, I have the Morton,
Yeah.
so I do run into the problem where I
I
don't get my lines straight.
don't.
I'll start thinking
I'm
about
gonna
something
do
else.
a little bit more.
After Dennis is done.
push down. You got to put a little bit of weight on. You can feel the weight that's here already. And supposedly now, I don't know if they still do it. But in the instructions that came with the big one, you're supposed to be able to put cutting oil in here, and it comes out here and it lubricates. That never worked for me. Just have the little pot,
With oil in it?
yeah,
That's what I used.
and use that as a docking station.
Oh, Art
Yeah, the art
Or is it
gallery.
with a sponge?
I don't know what it's
Yeah, that's all it is just a little sponge. Put a few drops of oil on there,
I don't know if it's Shannon, but it's probably somebody that buys their stuff
Yeah.
here. Have you done any glass?
No, I
To
haven't.
admire?
See, I'm not used to the little one because I've got the big one, so.
I have a lot of broken glass.
No, I'm too cheap to take a great big piece of glass like that and
Well-
for a little. I used to sew, so when you sew, you put your
Right.
patterns right next to that.
But I was gonna say too that Shannon was the one that glued these pattern pieces down.
Oh, okay. So she's
I
the culprit.
I would never do that myself either.
Okay.
In fact, I'd
Am I
probably
too close?
get the whole thing out of.
What wouldn't you do?
I wouldn't have little pieces like that and take.
Spread out so far.
But he said Shannon do it all, so.
But she's probably going for the colors,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have to do that.
Yep. Yeah, that's true too.
So the kids want to go to Webster Park tonight, and I said, okay, but we can only stay till 4:15 because I have a dinner date tonight.
I used to, but
What kind of a reaction did you get?
What do you mean? Grandma's got a date? And I said, no. So then they zeroed in on Rick.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was so cute.
Why is my grandma not available?
I'm still gonna take them, just not as long as they want to.
It's nice if they like to go to the park after school.
Well, and we haven't been able to go since last week Monday because the weather, we can only go on Mondays and Fridays. And then I'll start taking them on Wednesdays when the weather gets nice.
Well, it's been, what, 11 days we have rain.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, I knew it was a long time, but the weatherman said 11 days.
Dennis probably already said this, but the one thing that's, the big thing that's nice about this, if you even go back to when you were first taught to cut glass, hopefully your teacher told you that it's all about consistent pressure. And this gives you consistent pressure. Do you think that the small one does it as well as the large one? And I want you to be honest.
I'm sure it does as well,
Uh-huh.
but I'm having a little hard time with the small one because I am used to the big one. But if you use the small one all the time,
You'd get used to it, sure.
yeah, it just depends on how often you
Yeah.
do it.
And some people, one of the reasons I think he did all of his minis is people don't have the space.
Right,
But if you have the space in the mini, you know, go for the plunge and get the big one right away.
right.
How much is the big one?
that's the small one? Yeah.
Yes.
All the glass will tell me what.
And don't forget it's on sale today. See it lifted up a little bit.
Yes, 20% off.
$268,
Oh,
and you do get 20% off.
268.
$268.
For the little one.
For
The big one.
For the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I paid more than that for mine years ago.
Oh, the big one of those?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have one, I love it.
yes.
Love it. You just do all your cutting with that? He's doing all of it.
So the small one is $126.95.
Wow. That's a whole lot cheaper than I thought they were
So
going
it
to
would does it come with this?
be. I think it comes with what you see here.
Except for this?
Except for that, but that isn't all that expensive anyway.
Doesn't it come with one of them?
I don't know,
It must have some kind of a.
I think mine's
Rust.
doing that.
but it might have been
You store it just
From
like
the-
that? You put it.
put the oil in the top.
No, but what I'm saying is it should have some kind of rust
water
because
in
you don't
there?
want to just sit it on here.
Well, you could. It wouldn't. It's plastic. It'll give enough.
Well,
Okay.
More?
Good, personally.
I'll talk at the end of